After COVID-19, how India can pursue a sustainable and resilient recovery. Various state governments announced financial assistance for the poor in the unorganized sector. On 21st March, the Uttar Pradesh government decided to give a direct money transfer of Rs 1,000 to all daily wage labourers in the state, and the following day Punjab announced Rs 3,000 each for all registered construction workers in the state. On 23rd March, it was announced that Haryana labourers, street vendors and rickshaw pullers will be provided an assistance of Rs 1,000 per week directly deposited into their bank accounts. Below poverty line families would be provided rations including wheat, rice, mustard oil, sugar, free of cost for the month of April. There were different phases of lockdown and then now starting unlock. Decentralized solar park can help spread critical services in remote regions if the upfront capital constraints can be addressed. It should revisit the potential import duties on solar panels, since this may not increase domestic production but may raise the cost of solar power. Similarly, scaling up the electrification and adoption of public transport will be critically important to reduce traffic congestion and air pollution. This should involve closer coordination with the electricity sector and a greater focus on vehicle charging infrastructure. Continued investment in the cold storage facilities and supply chains will ensure the preservation and timely delivery of agricultural produce and reduce losses to farmers. Build the resilience for the most vulnerable. About 90% of India's workforce is informally employed, which includes gig economy workers. This population is extremely vulnerable to economic shocks and needs greater access to formal credit and social safety nets such as insurance and pension schemes. Beyond employment guarantees, a universal basic income broader than current schemes that are conditional upon occupation and land ownership can help provide the vital resources for subsistence or for investing in education and health. Greater access to bank accounts for the 20% of adults without one, per 2017 data would efficiently deliver this income to households. Lastly, it is critically important to expand access to clean water, clean air, primary health care. These will improve life expectancy and increase economic and physical resilience. Several sectors like the aviation and auto industries will need support in order to recover. This will require consideration of the fiscal situation, and it presents an opportunity to encourage greater sustainability by making this support conditional on cleaner technologies and fuel efficiency. Meanwhile, the government can increase taxes on luxury sectors with high environmental impacts. It can also use this opportunity to rationalize fertilizer subsidy and increase taxes on fossil fuels, with the savings and proceeds returning to target population through cash transfers or social safety nets. Encourage long-term change in behavior. The current crisis has changed patterns of consumption. Electricity usage patterns have shifted as people are working from home on more flexible schedules. Non-essential purchases have temporarily ceased. All these offer an opportunity for implementing demand-side solutions to drive long-term behavior changes for more sustainable development. For instance, encouraging conservation in energy through nudges and tariff reforms can drive down consumption. Promoting reuse, recycling, and repair models for consumption can contribute to a circular economy and reduce waste generated by current business models. Supporting the continuation of work from home policies can drive down road traffic congestion and air pollution. While encouraging the continuation of these new trends, the government should also foster new behaviors. For example, with nearly 80% of the population expected to be in the middle income bracket by 2030, it is extremely important to attract them to public transport options. The government could achieve this through expanding connectivity to business districts, improving and streamlining the network, and discouraging the use of cars through measures such as road congestion, pricing, paid street parking, and higher taxes on luxury vehicles. Regulate enabling tech. Finally, it is useful to consider that the future may see greater employment in the gig economy and e-commerce sectors, as well as in new technologies that can help support future response and resilience mechanisms. While supporting the development of such sectors, it is important to put the right regulations in place to ensure data privacy and consumer protection. The decisions taken today can provide immediate relief, but also secure a lasting economic recovery, increase community resilience, and ensure a long-term pathway to sustainable development. We shouldn't let this chance slip. Consider first its infectiousness. Anyone infected with this new virus infects on an average between 2 and 3 other people, and nobody has immunity against this brand new virus. And in the next few months, COVID-19 imperils most of the global population. That means we are facing a full-scale pandemic, and there is no shortcut out of it. This virus in the past 100 years is only comparable with the Spanish flu of 1918, that over 2 years killed approximately 50 million people and was followed by a 1920 to 21 economic depression. That flu was a very virulent and infectious virus as well, to which the world population has no immunity at all. Suggestions to overcome agricultural issues after COVID-19. In the short term, therefore, governments must not only provide financial support to individuals and firms affected by the pandemic, but also act to prevent a food crisis. Rather than interrupting trade, policymakers should facilitate it and improve coordination and information exchange between food producers and buyers, especially at the local level. Researchers can use conventional plant breeding methods to biofortify the crops that dominate current diets, particularly those of the poorest population. Biofortification means developing nutrient-rich cultivars through selective crossbreeding of a high nutrient variety with higher yielding varieties. Agricultural research has long focused on boosting productivity rather than sustainability, with investments geared towards developing better seeds, more disease-resistant animals, and more efficient production techniques for a small number of plant and animal species. Ongoing global campaign. The online global campaign was designed by Wieden Kennedy, with the launch of a web portal after foreign equity caps, norms and procedures in various sectors were relaxed, including application of manufacturing application made available online, and the validity of license was increased through 3 years. Zero defect, zero effect slogan was coined by Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, as essence of the Make in India initiative, managing advanced processes, materials and technologies to guide the production mechanism that produces products with no defects, with no adverse environmental and ecological defects. Make in India Week, multi-sectoral industrial event at the MMRDA from 13 February 2016. Event received over 15.2 lakh crore worth of investment commitments and investment inquiries worth rupees 1.5 lakh crore. Immediate actions to ensure business continuity and protect employees. Strategic initiatives to accelerate preparations for recovery and increase resilience. Key imperatives to adapt to potential forever changes to ensure long-term success. 5 imperatives emerged from the survey that leaders are encouraged to consider in order to prepare for long-term business success. Rapid tailoring of manufacturing and supply systems to changing consumer behavior. Agile manufacturing and supply system setups enabled by advanced technologies, logistics coordination across and within global value chains. Adoption of new ways of working and governing to increase manufacturing resilience. Shared responsibility and collaboration among companies and authorities to address social and environmental challenges. Impact impact of COVID-19 on the forest sector. The COVID-19 pandemic is affecting public health and causing unprecedented disruptions to economies and labor markets, including for workers and enterprises in the forest sector. It has extracted existing challenges, with many enterprises and workers suffering as a consequence. COVID-19 and the media culture sector. This brief highlights the impact of Corona on the media and the culture sector, hit hard by unemployment and closed production. It analyzes how the sector's diversity in terms of contract types and occupations creates challenges in accessing social protection, safety and health, and economic relief programs. The brief also offers policy options, drawing from countries' examples, an initiative from workers and employers organizations to mitigate the economic impact of the pandemic on the sector. COVID-19 and the public service. Besides health and education workers, all public servants play a role in halting the spread and recovering from the pandemic. This is true regardless of their occupation, whether in the administration of the state like tax collectors, police or correctional officers, implementing economic and social policies like labor inspectors, providing services to the community like waste collectors, or supporting compulsory social security systems like social workers. As custodians of public goods, public servants are indispensable conduits for the recovery. The COVID-19 pandemic demonstrates the crucial importance of disaster preparedness and that private sector partners cannot manage alone the scope of interventions needed now. Strengthening pandemic preparedness for the future. With the world facing an unprecedented threat, there is an opportunity to emerge with stronger health systems and improved global collaboration to face the next health threat. As we focus on the immediate response to the COVID-19 crisis, it is important to keep in mind the breadth and the depth of consequences already being felt across the globe. We must learn the lessons of this pandemic and now, in doing so, ensure that our response, wherever possible, leaves a lasting positive legacy and makes the world of the future a safer place. Thank you.